that, exactly. And the guy hired me.
Wow.
And I got my equity card and went to New York City. After I did 4 shows, I got an equity card. I went to New York to be an actor. And while I was there, I did a short subject film that was nominated for an Academy Award. And so that led to F Troop, and that led to actually all those other things before F Troop. And there I'm sitting with the script that says F Troop. Well, I went in, I read it, so I had it, and I went in and did it without holding on the script or anything like that. And as I got about, they said, thanks very much. So I walked out the door and I started to go downstairs. And I realized there wasn't any more people there. So I was the last one, and that was the right one. And the director walked out the door and said, Jimmy. I said, yeah. He said, you're our bugler. I'm going to start crying if I'm doing it here in a minute. He said, you're our bugler. Now listen to this. We get to the set in Warner Brothers, Fort Courage, and the stanchions and the ammo boxes and the wagons, F, cross sabers, 6. The same outfit that I was in at Fort Knox, Kentucky.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's unbelievable.
It's the same outfit. So I know I'm on the right track.
You know, if you turn your life over to God, you have to be doing what He wants you to do because you've surrendered your life.
Correct.
If you surrender your life, you know, and God will put you in strange places where you think, how am I doing what God would have me do?
You have to say, do we still have the same deal?
Yeah. So it's just, you just, but you know, and so I used to worry about it. I think, you know, am I doing what God wants me to do? Because I'd be heading down a road and I think, you know, in the, you know, way I'm making a living or whatever, you know, and I would think, you know, how do I know? And then it just dawned on me one day, you know, I'd surrendered my life to God, and God will put His desires on your heart when you surrender to Him. And then you have to be on the right road.
He won't break the contract.
No.
We're the ones that are sometimes.
Yeah, and when you do that, you know it. You don't just think you may be doing something out of line. You know you're doing something out of line.
Yeah. It's like you're looking over your shoulder. Is God still back there? Is He still? Well, actually, he might be up here somewhere, really, and that's where you ought to be going. But it's always, to me, it's always fear. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's afraid, you know, that this won't. You know, I don't. If you just go through the doors that God opens for you, just see what happens, you know. But I get way out ahead. I just need to stay right where I am and take the next step forward.
So, you got anything that you're doing lately? You got anything that you're going to festivals and things? I know that.
Yeah.
And people love meeting you. People love seeing you. We've seen you at a few things.
Thank you.
And people just, you know, they're usually clamoring around your table. And
wow.
I think because, you know, now there's a lot of different ways that attracts people to you. You know, Roy Rogers is one way. You know, he's always the hero guy, but you made people laugh, and you know that's when people are laughing, they can forget about a lot of things. So are you doing anything right now besides that? Or you?
Well, I did a little part in a movie called Fire from Below. It's a sci-fi. Kevin Sorbo is a star.
Okay.
A good guy, and that's supposed to come out this fall on the Sci-Fi Channel. Did another little film in Dallas, which is totally Christian based, and Mark Cuban had something to do with.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I don't know what they're going to do with it, how they're going to market it or whatever. But I played a kind of pastor emeritus who talks to couples and helps them out and so forth and so on. Had a wonderful scene, And so I've had a chance to do a couple things, and been working on the book, and excited about that.
What's the book? What kind of book? What is it?
Kind of like what we're talking about, but just stories about the people that I've met and had the pleasure of meeting, and little things that would happen and be funny. You know, one time, for instance, Larry Starks was who played Carpalago.
Yeah, right.
And he's so funny, and he was just moping around, and Forrest Tucker, who run things on that set, you know, he said, "Larry, what's the matter with you? Yeah, like you lost your best friend. What's the matter?" He said, "Oh," he says, "my wife bought me a new pair of glasses. She said, don't you come home without them glasses. Them are $80 glasses." And he said, "I've looked everywhere. I can't find them glasses." And his wife is tough. And Tuck said, we call him Tuck, he said, "Now take it easy. Did you look in the pocket of your set chair?" He said, "No." He said, "Why not?" He said, "I can't do that, Sarge." "What are you talking about?" He said, "Well, if they ain't there, they're really lost." Now he ain't trying to be funny. That's just who he is. One time,
scared to death to look in the right place.
We were yeah, exactly, because if they're not there, they're gone.
And I'm dead.
Yeah, and another time, we were working on a script. We always sat around on Mondays and went over the script, and sometimes the jokes work great, sometimes they don't, and you start worrying about them and trying to fix them and so forth. And we come across, the producers, the director, the cast, we just can't seem to fix it. And Larry gets up and starts pacing back and forth, and he says, "A great idea." And we go, What? He said, "That's what we need, a great idea." And you know what? We put it in the script, just like that. Because it was between him
That's what we need.
and Tuck, you know, and